Welcome to selfdiscoveryradio.com, where the orchard of wisdom is just ready for picking. We celebrate your why, the journey that you've taken that inspires someone else. We support your services, we support your story. Come and be our guest, become a host, be an author with us. Come and see what we've got. Our next show is... Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Choose Positive Living here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host and owner here, Sara Troy of Self-Discovery Media. And today I am very, very happy to bring you some of our hosts that we have here on this network. They are incredible people. Also, we have ordinary people doing extraordinary things, and there is nothing ordinary about them, except for the everyday people who have stepped out of the comfort zone, have stepped into caring for other people, who've stepped into the awesomeness, and they're here to share it with you. Each one of them is very gifted and talented in their own line of work, and they share their business skills with you. Plus, they bring wonderful people that they interview to help you and your journey, your life's journey into living an awesome life as well. I have with us here today Linus Wood-Mullins from The Wellness Journey. Wave at Linus, say hello to the audience.
Hello, everybody.
And I also have Diane Shaver from the Holistic Transformations. She's an entrepreneur.
Hello, everyone. Hey.
And I have Kitty Adderley from Recovering the Whole of You show, who she's a recovery expert. Say hi, Kitty.
Hello, everybody.
And we were meant to have our Reverend Charles, but he's got delayed and unable to join us right now. So maybe I can insert him into the show later. Now, each one of these wonderful women, and we, of course, we do have males here as well, folks. This isn't just a station for women, but we have people here who are out making a difference in the lives of others because they do care, because they're motivated to see people become the best that they can be. And I want you to get to know them and then go to their shows and listen to all the wonderful information that they share with you with their guests, because I promise you there's an answer there that you're seeking that you didn't even know you've asked the question of yet. And each one of them brings you something that is really relevant to our lives. And so I'm going to first go through each one of them, where they're going to tell you a little bit about their shows, the kind of people they have on, what the topic is, and what to expect from them. So I'm going to start off with Linus Wood-Mullins, who is our series host. She comes on, does an 8-part series, takes a little break, and comes back with another theme. And her theme this year, or this particular series, is about the spice of life, a seasonal woman's guide to renewing her essence. And Linus is very much of a woman of a great deal of essence. We're going to get into the fact that, she's got a book out, she's doing a tour and a magazine. That's all going to come up. But let's talk about her show. Hi, Linus.
Hi, thanks, Sarah, for giving me the opportunity to share a little bit about the Wellness Journey. The Wellness Journey podcast series has been around for 9 years, and I asked my virtual assistant to take a look to see if she could figure out how many interviews I've done in those 9 years. Close to 1,000 interviews. She came up with 936, maybe 937. She said she kind of lost track. So I said, okay, close to 1,000. That's close enough. So I've done a lot. And basically, the Wellness Journey is all about how to achieve wellness in your mind, body, and spirit using holistic practices, fitness, nutrition, and spiritual renewal. And I get a chance to interview some of the premier experts in the mind, body, spirit wellness movement who also have a heart for talking to women over 40. And we cover a plethora of topics, anything having to do with wellness. And that could be your body wellness all the way to your financial wellness. We talk about it with a niche towards information that would be particularly attractive to women over 40. And the reason why I decided to do women over 40 is because that's what I know best. That's my passion. I'm a woman way over 40. I'm a woman over 60. So therefore, I feel like I can, go ahead and talk about women 40, 50, 60, and beyond. And we have some great guests that are practitioners, coaches, authors. Some of them share their testimonies in terms of how they survived certain kinds of chronic disease or experiences. It's just a huge array. This current series, The Spice of Life, covers a wide array of topics from people who are seasoned women who give great advice and great testimonies about how they have learned to thrive along their journey to wellness as they age.
Wonderful, and truly some extraordinary people on there. It's very exciting to listen to it. And hey, we need a little spice in our lives for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And so now let's go to Diane Shaver with holistic transformations. And why holistic transformations? Because it is the whole of us that needs to transform. And she's an entrepreneur, interviews entrepreneurs about she doesn't just stop there. Hi, Diane.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for this. This is wonderful, and it's great to be on with these other wonderful women. But with holistic transformations, I try to find people who are doing things that are making big differences in this world. The news is bringing us all these horrible things that are happening with climate change, and you name it, we've got it. But there is also the counterpoint to that. There are also people doing things that are actually making huge changes. And one of the people that I interviewed recently was Prashant Lingam, and he is in India, and I interviewed him in India. I was not there, I was in the States, but at any rate.
Thank God for Zoom.
I know, hallelujah Zoom, right? But they have a huge problem with plastic waste. And by the way, the US has 30.5 million tons of plastic waste.
Way too much.
So what he did, he took 20 villagers, and these were villagers. He will not hire anybody with a degree, no one with a degree. They've been together since 2008, and they found a way to take all this plastic waste and actually make houses out of them. The roof is plastic, the walls are plastic, the floors are all recycled plastic. You never know it looking at it. And the materials are bulletproof, waterproof, fireproof, everything. And they can actually make roads out of them. So these are the kind of people, I want people to know, yeah, this is going on. There's another gentleman that I interviewed who has something called God Wings. And he wanted people to be aware that in our life, as hard as it is sometimes, there are wonderful things that happen and we don't see them because we don't have a name for them. So he called them God Wings, and he started a whole network of them. He has a series of books called God Wings, and he just did the Hallmark Christmas movie. He's from ABC News originally, but now he's doing all the stuff, trying to help people see the wonderful things that are happening in their lives. And then another person that I'm going to interview is a woman from Rhode Island School of Design. She's an architect, and she actually wove houses in Syria, and they're open weave. They're gorgeous. You can't even imagine what they look like. They're so beautiful. But the way they're woven, they deflect any kind of wind, rain, or anything. They're beautiful, and they're an inexpensive way to shelter people out in Syria with everything going on. So there are all these people doing this kind of thing. And I also have a webinar teaching people how to take their great idea and make it into a business, because we have too many women sitting there with great ideas. We need to get them out in the world, and then I can interview you. Please.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. We'll go back to the business thing in a moment. So let's go over to Kitty. And Kitty is a recovery expert, and so her show is Recovering the Whole of You, because it's not just about, you know, maybe your cancer got fixed, or this got fixed, or that got fixed. It's this, how do you bring your wholeness back into being? Because when you have been hit with an illness or a disease or anything, and you're on that road to recovery, you're not the same person that you used to be. You're now somebody new. No. How do you bring the whole of you back together? So Kitty's show is Recovering the Whole of You. Kitty, please tell us more about that. And she's in the Bahamas, folks. So, you know, she's got some cool people that she interviews from there.
I'm in the Bahamas and beyond. I'm interviewing Bahamians, people from the Caribbean diaspora, as well as internationally. And so I'm a physical therapist, one of my many titles. And so I'm all about function and getting you to function at your maximum. And so Recovering the Whole of You is dedicated to health awareness and education, trying to bring health and wellness professionals together so that we can discuss issues, we can discuss conditions and diseases and things that happen every day. The information credible so people know and can source out who to go to and what they need to do more of. And as we talk of recovery, prevention is also a big part of it, because we want to prevent you from getting ill as well. So we do give a significant part of the show to talk about prevention and just overall education to people who may not have the information readily available to them. So that's the goal, to reach out to the Bahamas and beyond, and to make sure we bring that information to those people.
Right, and of course you've been doing a few shows on cancer, which of course is, you know, one of those diseases that's almost as common as a cold now, but is preventable, is curable, and most certainly there is life after cancer. And so a very, very important topic there. You know, as I said, we did have Reverend Charles. I'll do an extra excerpt with him and insert him into the show. And his show is The World According to Gus, God, Universal Spirit. He is a reverend and 40 years, and he speaks to the energy, the source. It doesn't matter what you name this beautiful divine presence. It's about how do we tap into it, how do we use it, how do we become it, and how do we actually go about our daily lives in that state of beingness. So as I said, I will add him in the show, but unfortunately unable to be with us here right now. You know, each one of you are professional in your own line of work, and of course outside of doing all of these shows, which, folks, as you've just seen, Kitty fell out of sync a little bit. We are dealing with the internet. We've got to realize the internet are, you know, energy waves, and sometimes you're going to see things that where, you know, faces blur or lips go out of sync, or of course, you know, when I used to do live shows, my wonderful guests would disappear. But we've got to understand the internet is an incredible gift, but it's not always reliable. So, you know, don't judge us if you see something going wrong. That's just the nature of things. Please listen to the content, because that's where the value is. I'd like each one of you now. Oh, I'll just drop in a little bit of my own show here, of course, is, you know, I do Sara's View of Life every week, plus I interview many people of many other genres here. So you know, everybody says to me, what is your topic? What is your genre? And my genre is purely this: those that are making a difference in the lives of others, authentically, with caring, with heart, with love. And I will cover every topic and any topic. We, you know, from sex, religion, to to business, to wellness, to everything. It's all a question of, have you stepped into yourself and are you sharing that with others? And that's really the common denominator. The Sara's View of Life every week is my own show, which is just purely me and a perspective of what I have seen in the week or something that I want to share. So that's just what you get from me here. But let's go back now to each one of you and talk about the many things you're doing outside of the shows. Linus doesn't sleep. She's actually a robot. She charges up at some point because she has got an online magazine going. She is a co-author of a book that's just come out. There is a 52-state tour that she's doing with 3 others. Plus she does other shows as well. So I swear this woman, I really, you know, somebody pinch it, is she real? But somehow, and you know, her husband's just had a bypass, you know, for goodness sake. So I don't know how she keeps on going, but if ever you look at the pink Ever Ready bunny, that's Linus there. You know, she charges up, and she actually does take what she tells people to take for energy, and she's a prime example of keeping on going. But Linus, tell everybody else about all the other things you're doing. Oh, you're muted, honey. There we go. Got you back.
Thank you for that. I never think of it in terms of the sum total of what I'm doing, but sometimes it does seem a little outrageous. But you know, sometimes things, you have that perfect storm, everything happens at once. But yes, I have a magazine called Wellness Woman 40 and Beyond e-magazine, and it's a free online publication that has all kinds of articles about basically how to be well in your mind, body, and spirit for women. And the interesting thing about the magazine is that the subtitle says different backgrounds, same journey, because I believe as women, no matter what background you come from, as you age, you are inevitably on the same journey, which is, you know, trying to figure out a way to thrive and survive some of the things that happen to our bodies as we age. So we talk a lot about that from a physical standpoint, of course, but also from a mental and spiritual standpoint as well. And the people who write for the magazine are experts in the field of health and wellness for women over 40. Then I have another show that I created and I just started producing called Living Well Women, Holistic Living for Sisters. And this is a show that is a Facebook Live that uploads to YouTube and is distributed to several other audio platforms. And it's an idea that the creator kind of gave me to have a show about how to be well for women over 40 who happen to be women of color. Women of color sometimes have different kinds of wellness issues, especially when it comes from the stress realm. The stress realm adds so many other things to it. And as a result, we are dying unnecessarily from stroke and heart disease and complications of high blood pressure and other chronic diseases that we don't necessarily have if we are more aware and begin to make that commitment to make lifestyle changes. So we talk about that on the show. I have 3 other women that I found from all over the United States that are on the show once a week. And we just recently decided to go on tour. It's called the Self-Love Explosion Tour, where passion meets power. And this tour is for all women over 40. And it just so happens that the women on the tour with me are over 50, and I'm the oldest one. I always seem to be the oldest one. I remember I used to be the youngest. Now I always seem to be the oldest all the time. I don't know what happened there, but they're all over 50 and I'm over 60. And what we do is we talk about some of our experiences from different perspectives on how to really stay engaged in life and how to get motivated. And also many women say, people in general, but women in particular, they'll say, well, I don't even know what my passion is. So we talk about that, how to go about figuring out what your passions are. I just wrote a book, co-authored a book called Power Up Superwomen, Stories of Courageousness and Empowerment. And I wrote this book along with 12 other women who share their stories of courage, and they really are awesome. And I was really honored to get on, to be able to write the back cover of the book. And that book is coming out any day now. I'm taking pre-orders for that right now. And I just started a weight release program that's online, and I also have a leadership coaching program that I just launched yesterday, which is a one-on-one coaching program for women in leadership, and that's because of my background I had for years and years as a human resource manager and director. I used to do a lot of coaching, and I had so many people asking me about why don't I do that, so I added that to my little list of things that I do. So yeah, it's been pretty busy.
In case you got bored, you added something else in.
Right. Yeah, I got bored, right?
Yeah, exactly. I've got too much time on my hands, all 60 seconds, yeah.
Right.
We actually have Charles, who's just joined us here. Wave to everyone, Charles, and let everyone.
Hey, how are you? Glad to see you all.
Just before we go to time, because we're actually on our second round here, but, jump in, let everybody know about your show, and then I'm going to come back and talk about your business. But let's just get you in here. So tell everybody about what the World According to Gus is all about, and a little about the people that you bring on.
Sure. The World According to Gus, and Gus stands for God, Universe, Spirit. And the whole idea there is there are many different paths. There is the one path, but there are different paths, and the different paths are the one path. And so the whole idea is to break through a lot of the division that we have around people of different faiths and everything. There is one ultimate perennial truth, and the languaging sometimes gets in the way, and the institution, many of the institutions are, I'll just say it, they're unhealthy. So the World According to Gus is about bringing that unity and bringing people that are on that path, even though their path may be the Buddhist path, it may be the Hindu path, it may be, how to say it, an eclectic Christian path, which I guess is what I am. But we want to share different ideas from different people and talk about the world as it is according to God, universe, spirit. And that really manifests in a lot of ways. So that's pretty much what the program is. We've already talked to a few people. We've talked about the Enneagram, and we're going to be talking more about that, a tremendous tool. As a matter of fact, that tool, the Enneagram, is being more and more accepted in corporate America and used as an assessment tool instead of Myers-Briggs and DISC and some of the other instruments that have been used. They're still being used, but Enneagram is a pretty diverse and pretty in-depth tool that is coming into its own now, and it's an ancient tool. So we have coming up Dana Cummings, who is a Unity minister, and we'll be talking to him about spirituality from the Unity perspective and how Unity came into being. David Clements, Unitarian Universalist pastor, matter of fact, just moved to Peoria, taking a call there. So the world, according to Gus, is anybody that's out there and anybody that's about unity and bringing
wobbly.
one path, and one path is many.
Okay, right, we had a little wobbly then. That's the reason why he was late. His internet was dropping, so let's pray that it stays with us. So I'm going to go to Diane now, who will have to leave us shortly for another appointment. So Diane, please tell everybody about the Entrepreneur Mind World and the business that you do. And you've got a free webinar out right now.
I do. I have a free webinar that just launched today, and it will be up again on the 10th because it's a precursor for a 7-week online course. And the whole subject is turn your great idea into dollars. Because women particularly sit on ideas. We wait to be perfect. Men are willing to go out and fall on their face. Women want to be perfect before they put it out there. So I want to give a little push to women. Please put your idea out there. Please start working on it. So that's the point of the 7-week course. I have been an entrepreneur since I've been in my 20s. So I've had wholesale retail businesses. I've done pilots for television shows. I've written books. I've done a whole bunch of things. So I come at it from many different angles. And I know what it takes to start a business, and I want more women out there doing it. I've also done pitch events with accredited investors. And when an entrepreneur is ready to pitch to an investor, I teach them how to do that because it is a very particular kind of thing that you need to do with investors. So I've also done that. And I spend a lot of my time just coaching entrepreneurs who are doing startups or people who have a business that's out there already and it's not functioning the way it should. And I can zero in and see the areas that they need to improve and some markets they need to open up. And it's the most fun you can have as far as I'm concerned. I love working with entrepreneurs. It is a fabulous thing. I also have Success Thoughts. It's a blog that's been up for like 5 or 6 years. And I try to talk about things that are going on right now, and I try to be as real as possible because I think sometimes in our culture, we're not real. We kind of coat things over or we kind of gloss over things, and I think we need to speak from the heart and we need to say things that are real. And I'm not talking about being negative or attacking anyone, it's just what's in your heart, what's really going on. So the reason for the 7-week online course, Turn Your Great Idea into Business, I want more business women out there. And when we started, it was all women who are entrepreneurs. They were at home, stay-at-home moms. I want us out there. I think this is the time for women. And Linus was kind of talking about this as women get older. But that's something they can do. Anybody can start a business. It can be from somebody who is not physically able even. They can start a business. So I want women to be encouraged. I want them to start their businesses. And I want to show them how because I know the steps that need to be taken. Excellent. So that's kind of my passion right now. I want to help as many women as possible get out there and start their business. And then I can interview you. That would be the great thing. That's something
exactly.
Where you're changing the world. I get to interview you on my show.
You're right. Are you still with us for a little while, Diane, or do you have to run?
I have 10 minutes. And
excellent. I'll come back to you in a few minutes to get all your information. Kitty, my darling, you know, you're other than just doing the shows, a rehabilitation coach, you're out there doing your thing. Share your business, please, love.
So I am the owner of Handling Your Health, Wellness and Rehab. It's a physical therapy and wellness clinic. We're based in the Bahamas, but we do tele-rehab. So we treat patients all around the world. My primary patient population is oncology. I have a specialty in breast cancer rehab, and through dealing with that population for a long time, I realized that people with chronic diseases are being underserved. And so I'm now developing my practice to encompass more diabetic wellness as well, reaching out to those people living with diabetes and letting them know that they don't have to deal with a lot of the sequelae of the diabetes presentation. So we're helping them move better, walk better, have less pain and discomfort. And going back to the cancer survivors, we're doing fantastic strides in the world of medicine now. And so survivor rates are a lot higher. People are living longer after cancer diagnosis. However, the treatments and the side effects of cancer are long lasting. For a lot of these people, latent long-term effects are manifesting. And again, this is another population that was underserved. And so I've really spent the last, 12 years really honing my craft and honing my skills to take care of this population, to make sure that I can turn these people to a fully functional life, having them fully recover, probably even doing more than they were doing before they had the diagnosis. And I really, really love that part of it. And I love the part of going out and educating on the prevention aspect of it. I'm a Susan G. Komen breast cancer educator as well. So not only am I treating, those people would come, but one of my passions is going out there and explaining to people the ways that they can avoid and decrease the risk of contracting the disease, the cancer, and as well as diabetes. So that's what I spend my day doing.
Mm-hmm. And gosh, is it necessary? Because who do we, there isn't anybody that along the line that you haven't known that either has got diabetes or is suffering from cancer. It is a preventable disease. It is a curable disease. And I think one of the things that, I'm going to bring into it is attitude. From each one of you, I'd like to have a little blurb on that, because quite honestly, a positive attitude, and especially that of gratitude, is something that helps us through any walk of life that we do. So if each one of you just give a little opinion on that. Linus? It's still muted, darling. There you go.
I definitely am a purveyor of the idea or concept of gratitude, especially when you're going through difficult times. I do know that what you think about, what you ponder on, truly does come to pass. So if you choose to ponder on those things in your life that are thriving, those things in your life that are working out, because not everything is bad. There's something in your life that's going well. Focusing on that has a way of exacerbating, and next thing you know, other good things start coming towards you. I always, tell my clients, when I was doing a lot of coaching for women who were dealing with stress, and one of the first exercises I would do is to name 3 things that they would be grateful for. And some would really struggle with that because they were so stuck on what wasn't working right. But the thing that you might be grateful for, it could be a very small thing, like nail polish, doesn't matter. Idea of
a good hair day.
Right. Just the idea of thinking about those things that are working in your life. And before you know it, you start looking for the good that you can, because I definitely am a proponent of gratitude journaling. And the whole idea is to retrain your mind on what to focus on, what to look for, and what to think about. So I definitely agree with that.
Diane?
One of the things I think is forgiveness, is to learning to forgive, so you're not willing to drag all that garbage around with you, injuries that people have done you or you've done others or whatever. And also, I want to go with Linus about how we think, because thoughts are something that are manufactured. They're not intrinsic to us. We pick them up from other people, so we can change our thoughts, and we can have thoughts of wellness and gratitude and all of those things. So we have a lot more power than I think we give ourselves credit for.
Right. Kitty, I know it's a huge factor in the business that you're in.
It is. So the best way I deal with it is that, you you're encountering people going through very stressful situations, and sometimes it's easy to complain and it's easy to focus on the things that aren't going right. But what I try to explain to them is that you're recovering. And energy is energy. Once you spend it, it's gone. And so I always try and get them to focus on healing. Take the energy that you're focusing on complaining and looking at the things that aren't right and that aren't going right now, and focus on what is. Focus on giving your body the energy that it needs to heal, the light that it needs to heal. And once you spend it in the wrong direction, you can't use it for the good. You can't use it to recover. And so I always try and get them to talk about it, to write it down. What's the next best thing that's going to make you happy? What's our next goal? And let's just focus our energy towards that and keep our attitude positive and light as we go towards that direction.
Yeah, important. Charles?
Well, that's my my whole thing as a hypnotherapist, as a minister, as a NLP master practitioner. It's all about the mind and the thoughts, and it's about awareness, becoming aware, because a lot of
we definitely have wobblies with Charles here. Sorry, Charles. Do we have you, or is your internet dropped?
Did I?
You had a wobbly. You had a wobbly.
Oh, okay. Oh, darn. I tell you, if it's not one thing, it's another. And even with situations like this, I caught myself getting kind of uptight and everything, noticing the somatic responses, what's going on in your body, how you are feeling, and then bringing every one of those thoughts into captivity. I do a lot of breath work, just the breathing to calm everything down and to come into that place of peace. And we think clearer, because when we are agitated and when we are upset, we literally disconnect the frontal neocortex, and that's not good. We can't really be rational. So the best thing to do is to remain calm and be in that place of peace. The attitude of gratitude, the forgiveness, all of those things. I just have to agree with all of my colleagues here, that's what it's all about, to be the most effective person you can be.
And I don't think people know this, but it actually takes 8 positives to undo 1 negative. So when you've got a negative, the old rubber band thing is a good thing to start off with. Snap that rubber band when you got the negative. It hurts. It goes to the brain. Negativity hurts. But now you've got to put 8 positives in there. So 8 gratitudes, 8 affirmations of love, 8, something projecting out. And, if you do that, you're starting to retrain the mind into looking for what's positive. What is the silver lining? Shoot is going to happen to you, folks. That's life. It's how we cope with it along the way. And that's not to say you're going to have a bad day and you need to throw your arms around you or have a good cry and feel sorry for yourself for 5 minutes. That's part of the releasing. But it's now, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to get back up there? And maybe you need to put on a funny movie, read a funny book, listen to one of our shows that will inspire you and uplift you, and be proactive of putting yourself back on track, because a positive attitude is a choice. It's not an automatic. And so making the choice to choose to be positive is going to be one that will help you on your path. Here under the Self-Discovery Media platform, we have 2,300 collective shows now. I'm approaching my 1,500 show myself. And I've, really have interviewed some extraordinary people, and each one of you, before you came on being hosts, were interviewed by me, maybe more than once. And, I love people who have stepped into their lives and become inspirational, and people that through that inspiration become invitational. When you hear somebody who's, and let's point this out, folks, none of these guys have had it rosy. None of these guys have had a nice, smooth, limousine journey. Each one of them have been in the back of the truck and tossed out somewhere along the line, And it's how you get back up on your feet, how you choose to go forward in life, how you choose to stay positive, how you choose to step into purpose into service. And I'm going to go to Diane first because I know she has to leave in a moment, but I'd like you to talk to the meaningful of purpose and service and how it serves us. And then if you would just give your website, love, just so, because I know you're going to have to exit from us in a moment.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. We all come with purpose. We all come with gifts and abilities and things that we are here to give to the world. And it's just allowing ourselves to be in that sense of purpose and believing in ourselves. That's a huge thing, is to believe in yourself. When things are really bad, it's a tough thing to do, but it's absolutely what you need to do. And surround yourself with wonderful people like Sara. She's been a great support, and I am eternally grateful to you for that. We all have purpose. There's a reason for us to be here. So every one of us, no one's here as a mistake. You have something to give. So I am going to have to go, and please visit me at www.entrepreneurmindworld.com. And that's my website. It's got everything on it. I would love to hear from you. I hope I get to talk with all of you again. It's been such a pleasure. And thank you so much, Sara, for letting me be a part of this.
So welcome, and please go to Holistic Transformation Show. Diane does a show every other week, and she, beautiful lineup that she's already had with some incredible people to come. So please tune in and hear what they have to say. So thank you for being with us, and thank you for being a host here on Self-Discovery Media. So I'd like to go to you, Linus, on the purpose and service. The reason we're here.
Yes, I don't believe in coincidence, and I believe that everything happens for a reason. And you and I have definitely been on some different journeys, and I too am very, very grateful for our business relationship and opportunities for collaboration, but also for our friendship and sisterhood. I'm very grateful for that. But I really do believe that people are placed in our lives for a reason, and many times for a season. Sometimes it's not for the rest of our lives, but for that just on time moment that we need for whatever it is that God has for us. And that's what this experience has been, being affiliated with the Self-Discovery Media Network, is it now?
Yes, we were radio, now we're media.
Okay, right.
We're expanding. Radio isn't just it anymore. We're in books and everything else. So yeah.
Media Network. So I feel that it's definitely something that's been placed in my path for me to grow. And I think that, the Creator places all kinds of things in your path. Sometimes it's good, sometimes they're not. But they're all meant to either aid us or to grow us along the journey. And sometimes when you look at life that way, it's not like the universe is conspiring to be against you. The universe is conspiring to raise up to meet you along that journey, to aid you and to help you and provide you with those tools and techniques and tips and things that you need to do to maneuver through life's journey. It's just all in, are you open to it, ready to receive? You don't want to be like that story, The Man in the Boat. I'm sure you've heard that story before, where everybody comes by, the man is in the boat, and he is sinking. And he's prayed to God to come by and help him. And while he's waiting for God to come, there's a trawler that comes by to ask for help. He says, no, I'm waiting for God. There's a cruise line ship that comes by, asks me, no, I'm waiting for God. Helicopter comes up, no, I'm waiting for God. And then finally, he ends up drowning. He goes to heaven and he says, what, you said you would help me. Why didn't you? And God said, well, I sent the trawler, the cruise line, the hell, for many times we're looking for things to come in a certain kind of package, and we miss it. And part of this journey is just being willing and open to receive whatever the universe has for you, always with the idea that everything is conspiring to do something good in your life, instead of focusing on, oh, it's so bad. Maybe not, so.
It's willing to allow instead of dictate, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kitty,
Yes.
service and purpose?
Well, it's just to serve. I just find that I love to serve, and I like to meet the needs of those that are not being met. And I think this is why being a healthcare provider for me is so important. And not just serving them and providing the need, but also the education aspect of it. You don't know what you don't know until you realize you didn't know it. And I think in the age that we live in now, where information is so readily accessible, we have to do due diligence and make sure that we provide the information to people that need it. I'm just very fortunate. I think that I've been blessed to always be in a situation where I can learn and I can have people pour into me. And because of that, I just feel like I need to keep sharing and I need to keep pouring. And, you know, I learn from the people that I think I'm educating a lot of times as well. And so, you know, I really, really enjoy it. I see myself growing more in terms of being probably more visible and sending the message more out there. But I also have a secret wish. Well, it's not secret anymore. I want to see younger people get more involved in service,
Yes.
in giving, in taking care of people, because we know our population is living longer, and because they're living longer, we tend to see other illnesses and conditions come up. And it's all well and good that you have long life, but quality of life. I can encourage younger people to get involved into health and wellness. I think that's very, very important. It's a passion of mine.
A good service to be in, for sure. And Charles, I know purpose and service is a big one of yours.
Oh my goodness. And I think, you know, my purpose, my personal purpose in life is to awaken, awaken to the potentiality, awaken to believe that our human potential is just totally off the chain. So we are, and
We're having a wobbly with you again,
and
Charles.
kitty legs and people that are on. I keep getting my internet is unstable flashing on
You're
my.
right. Yes. Yes. You're having a bad internet day, but yeah.
Yeah, I am so sorry about that.
That's okay. That's
However, but even with my victorious living system, as you know, the mission there and on my literature and empowering and releasing human potential through heightened self-awareness. Becoming more and more aware of our potential, more and more aware. I tell people that I coach, I may not be the right coach for you, but understand in coaching, when I'm coaching with you, if I'm not cheesing you off, if I'm not getting you a little angry with me, then I'm not doing my job, because I'm going to try to shock, wheedle, whatever I can do to get you to step into that amazing potential. And I thank God. I thank Gus for the ability to see potential in a lot of people. And I've helped a number of folks find their spot. They were not doing what they really wanted to do. And I heard Kitty, you know, she knows that she's a servant. And so that's what she's doing. Find your passion and follow. Yeah.
Yes. And, you know, meaningful purpose is something that part of our life's journey is about in discovering. Self-discovery is what is your meaningful purpose and how does it serve you first and then serve humanity. And that's what it's about. That's what self-discovery media is all about. Everything that we share there is about people who've discovered that purpose, and they're sharing that wisdom and that knowledge to help you on your journey of life as well. And it's really important that we do step into that, because that's what we are here for. You know, my service has been something else. I've been a coach, I've been a counselor, I've been a number of things in my life. And I still do have a coaching practice where, you know, I'm a true colors for personal identity and showing you where you're at life so you can make decisions and moving forward. But my passion, my conviction is to this network, to the people on it, to the people that we bring, and also to, you know, now of course we're going to be having the business discovery directory, to which you will find wonderful hosts in there. And this directory it's in the process of being built, but the people that are going to be in it are people that we've interviewed. So you'll have their why, their journey as to what brought them to where they're at today. They'll have a business page, which is going to be on the businesses under services of their meaningful purpose that they offer you, and which will be updated every month into whatever current events that they have going. And eventually, this is the passion in the selfdiscoverycommunity.org, we wish to raise enough money to be able to pay for those services from the people in the directory with their wonderful skills and services to people who are at a crossroads in life that don't have the resources to help get back up on their feet. So we don't want to leave anyone behind. And we're going to invite sponsors to come in and support us. There are books, there is the platform, there's tutorial podcasts that are going to be going on, and there's many areas in which we can expand on this, where we can help one another. And this is the dedication that we have from the people here that are hosts and that are guests on this network. They're here to help other people get where they need to go, which is really, really important. I think the one thing we have all in common, which is the reason why you're here, is the passion and the conviction to lift people up, to open up that self-awareness, for them to find that self-discovery of just how awesome they really are. And when you have somebody who's met their health, somebody that's stepped into their own empowerment, somebody that's made that divine connection, somebody that's now, I can do this. I don't have to go by the old status quo, the old paradigm. I can step into something because I am. And it's an absolutely wonderful feeling, isn't it, when we see people do that. Linus?
Yeah.
You're muted again, babe.
Okay, there you go. Yes, it is. It's wonderful to be able to be a part of someone's aha moment when they're on the precipice of making some kind of monumental change in their life. And it's also life affirming if you're able to ever have that experience, because then you're on the right track yourself. So anyone that's on my show or that goes to my coaching services or reads my magazine or belongs to my women's group or the myriad of things that I do on the internet, being able to hear that it's made even a small difference in someone's life is huge, in terms of just kind of reconfirming what it is that I feel that God has put me on this earth to do.
Exactly. Kitty?
I totally agree with everyone else. I am just enjoying the experience of growing, seeing myself grow and being able to help people to grow and to let people know that I'm a support here for them. No matter how difficult the situation is, if I can't fix it, I'm sure I can find somebody who can help us get through it. So that's where I'm at.
Right. And Charles?
Yeah, I agree again with my colleagues, and I have people will say to me, wow, Charles, you changed my life. I said, no, I didn't. I was just a catalyst, maybe.
Right.
But you're the one who did it.
Yeah.
You're the one who did it. Yep, exactly.
They've got to walk the path. What you're doing is providing their backpack with knowledge, with tools. You're the cheerleader. You'll egg them on. You'll guide them along the way, but they've got to be willing to take the steps. Everybody has to step up in ownership, in responsibility for their own choices. But you're there to help them make the right choices that apply to them and their life's journey. But your life's journey is your life's journey, and you have to own it, which means you've got to participate in it and not be a spectator, as so many people are. I'm very proud of all of you for being here on this network. It's, what you bring each week or every other week to the shows is, and the people that you bring, the stories that are shared. I'm always in awe of some of the stories that I hear. I have young Keshi coming back up again, and if anybody's seen her before, she's on America's Got Talent. She's a burn victim. 109 people went down in a plane, 2 came out, 65% burnt in her body, hundreds of operations, challenges every day with pain. When you just have a little burn, how it hurts. Imagine on the body. She is such an inspiration. She is so grateful for being alive. The courage it took to get up on that stage and say, this is me. And when she sang, the beauty of her came shining through. I've been very honored to interview her, and she's coming back again in March after the show and to share. And she was a golden buzzer of Simon Cowell, and she's going to be on the final next week. And to have somebody like that with that kind of journey in life, it reminds us, what are we moaning about? So, it really is a privilege for the work that we do and the people that we interview. So I would like each one of you now, please, to let everybody know your show, which of course is selfdiscoverymedia.com, and then you go to podcasts and you'll see the show. Give the name of your show, and also please give your own personal business site. Linus?
It's the Wellness Journey podcast series, and I have brand new shows that come out every Tuesday. And my website to find out more about my business and the other things that I'm doing, just go to wellnesswoman40.com. That's wellnesswoman40.com.
Excellent. And thank you very much for being here, Linus. It's been wonderful. And Kitty, your show, of course, selfdiscoverymedia.com. And the show is?
recovering the whole of you. You can find me at Handling Your Health, Wellness, and Rehab on Facebook, but you can also find me at handlingyourhealth.com. And I just really want to say, Sarah, thank you for the opportunity to take my voice and take it a little wider and louder and out there. I really appreciate it.
Oh, we appreciate having you. Many people are going to be served along the way from your wisdom and your passion, so thank you. And Charles?
Well, it is the world according to Gus, and we provide programs twice a month, rather, every other
week.
Well, every other week. Yeah, we'll put it that way. And my website is victoriousliving.com. And you can find out all about what I do.
Right. And of course, don't forget, they're here in the Business Discovery Directory as well as obviously on their show page and all their shows. And, you know, I thank you all for being here. It's been wonderful to have you share a little bit more about you and what you're bringing and why you're bringing it, because it's very, very important. So remember, folks, all the people that we have on here have made the journey. They've taken this path. They know the challenges that you meet. And, you know, I always say, they say there's an app for everything. And I say, we have a show for everything. Whatever you're going through, plug it in the search engine. Somebody's going to come up. That's been there. The difference is this. They are not theorists. They are people who have actually gone through it. And so the story that they share with you is from true experience. And you will come away with something from that, whether it's inspiration, whether it's tools, knowledge, wisdom, application, that's going to help you on your life's journey, because this is what it's all about. So thank you to all my hosts. Please, folks, go back and now listen to all of their shows. Take a look and see what wonderful things they have. Look at their services in the Business Discovery Directory and see how they can serve you, because their inspiration is an invitation to you. So thank you to all of you for listening. Please do enjoy all our other shows. And until next time, folks, bye for now. For more wonderful shows like this, please go to selfdiscoveryradio.com, podcasts, and see our lineup. And if you wish to support us, we have a funded button. Please stay tuned for our next show.